Jesus Christ, someone f***ed up and set the sepia tone all the way up to straight up urine. So he's already battered and bloody a couple days after the narrative actually starts? Awesome! I can't wait for the narration to start up and say, "You're probably wondering how I got here, right?" In case you confused it with Bye Bye Birdie. Also, apparently even Indian schools are susceptible to large crowds of students congregating outside the front doors right after school for maximum establishing shot effectiveness. I haven't seen a dude this miserable while playing the piano since Clint Eastwood in the Line of Fire. Ovi turns and grabs this phone like he's just now needing it, but according to the timestamps in the text stream, this has been a single continuous conversation. And more importantly, the other kid dropped 3 question marks on his "where are you" text after giving him no time to respond to his previous message about leaving soon. Why do people text so much with unnecessary punctuation?
Try, take one hit, man, it'll help you.
Peer pressure. Seriously, I was promised a badass Chris Hemsworth action movie, and the first several minutes are a goddamn after-school special.
तूने कुछ गिरा है क्या? नहीं कुछ नहीं.
These two were sent here to kidnap Ovi and also murder his friend, yet they waste almost a full minute with this cop-busting teenagers for pot routine so the audience can be shocked when it happens. Wait, the crime lord dad's name is Ovi too? Consider this my official request for movies to stop giving characters the same names unless it's for very specific reasons. At least throw in a junior or senior in there for a little help.
अपने बच्चे का next birthday celebrate करे.
I'll tell you what, Netflix heard the calls for feel-good entertainment for the entire family during this time of crisis, and did they ever deliver? Wait, there's the Kimberly in Australia? The is that? It's like naming an isthmus in Tacoma the Monica.
Oh, my beer, would you?
Introducing your protagonist with a literal hold my beer moment, where they do something idiotic after uttering the phrase hold my beer. But then it's supposed to be cool and meaningful, I guess. The is going on here? Is Tyler attempting to break Ethan Hunt's free dive record? He is aware it almost killed him, right? Pleasant memory montage plays for our protagonist as blurry images of running on a beach cliche.
We landed the whale.
Oh, yeah?
Extraction. Indian kid.
Roll credits. And that's racist. We're playing all the hits today, kids.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I was hoping we'd get the standard issue, gruffly stated "I'm out of the game" response from Tyler, but instead we have the even sillier "I'll do it, but first let me get super f***ed up because I'm sad and I mean, why even bother buttoning any buttons at this point? Dude, 83% of this movie is made up of longing and regretful staring.
How many hostiles on site?
Maybe 20. Okay, clock is ticking. Let's chop.
Wait, that's it for the briefing? Going up against the biggest drug lord in an entire country, and all they could manage was a f***ing 2.5-minute meeting? Why didn't they just do it via Zoom if it was going to be this quick? In case you confused it with Daka Khan. I'm not going to play the music here, but trust me when I say this is way over the top, even for an action movie. It's like if Jean-Claude Van Damme and Vin Diesel formed an industrial band after a week-long steroid binge. You know what's happening now? Jack, I feel like this movie set out to have one big action sequence, left the camera running, and accidentally filmed an hour and 50 extra minutes of the cast taking breaks.
There's no magazine in it.
Well, I mean, sure, but there could have been one in the chamber, right?
Enough talk. Let's get to business.
Please, for the love of get to some business.
If not, I take this, stick in his ass, and blow his insides out.
I know these guys are the underlings, but why do they think a dude that looks like this is being sent as a ransom boy? Like, they seriously think a guy that's cut like a Norse god is the one that ferries the money back and forth? Also, why are these guys the underlings for this big of a job? The snipering in this entire movie is basically god level, so I'm just going to add 15 sins here for whatever the sniper version of this works is and move on. You know, these action scenes aren't the worst. In fact, they may actually be considered to be really good if I hadn't been ruined by the raid movies John Wick, Mission Impossible, and Jason Bourne. Well, not the movie called Jason Bourne, but you know what I mean. The character Tyler Rake finds a random actual rake lying around so that Rake can kill with a rake, because apparently him finding and using a Tyler the Creator album to do it was just slightly too ridiculous. I'd give all the sins back to this movie if Tyler just whacked the crap out of this kid like Nicolas Cage in The Wicker Man. I need something interesting to happen. Even the fight was anticlimactic. You know, there was a lot of shooting happening in this apartment, and not one bullet got through to the room where the kid was held. He should be f***ing dead, my friend. What happened here was a miracle, and I want you to f***ing acknowledge it. Oh, cool. They were able to make a movie about growing up in poverty that's even more depressing than Slumdog Millionaire.
সম্ভব না হলে তোমার দিয়ে আমার কি বালের কাম আমি নিজে তোমার আঙ্গুল কাইটে নিয়ে নিব
That has to be a very confusing thing for the Colonel to hear, considering he wasn't even around during that bad guy proves he's evil by making a kid cut off his fingers routine.
Kid, you want to survive, you do exactly as I say.
Is there any dialogue in here that isn't one big action cliche after another? Did they write the script immediately after a marathon of Will Smith and Schwarzenegger movies? Good thing Tyler had to do a shirt change here so that all his scars, bruises, and cuts would show. How else would the kid have been able to know what a broken man he is? If this evil bastard were any eviler, he'd be shooting electricity out of his fingers while cackling. Ah yes, well-timed alarms in the engine room, a lack of funding transfer. What else could accidentally happen to this highly trained team that they could chalk up to a total coincidence? Well, I'll be damned. If you can't trust the biggest drug lord in India to support a hastily thrown together rescue mission while in jail, who can you trust?
Nick, you're gonna want to see this.
You better come take a look at this cliche. You know what? I'm sick of all the cliches in this goddamn movie. Sick. Add 25 more cents. But who will direct the rest of the movie? And Ovi will go along with this and every other instruction given, instead of trying to escape to the man he already knows because back scars, maybe? That's awesome. And now we're in for almost 12 minutes of non-stop simulated one-take action that owns my ass so hard it now has the complete drilling rights. Let more stunt coordinators direct action movies, Hollywood, because this is the On the other hand, the movie may have just peaked about 40 minutes in. That's probably not good, right? Premature extractulation?
Off ahead, make a left. No, left! You just passed it.
Well then, maybe your obvious ADR recorded instructions shouldn't have been so nonchalant then, huh?
Off ahead, make a left.
I've heard GPS's voiced by Patrick Warburton that sound more urgent than that. I love how this guy was inches away from his entire stand getting wrecked by these cars, but he hasn't moved anything. Like, it looks like he's still open for business. As much as I love this, I'm starting to get angry. Why? Because the guy who directed this also did stunt coordination for some Marvel stuff. So why is that cut to hell and this isn't cut at all? This works, even briefly.
Kid, you trust me?
No.
Good.
No!
Is up with this movie and chucking kids off rooftops? Yo, how do people see a vicious knife fight happening between two brutes and decide to drive through that? It took Tyler like 10 shots apiece to take these cops out earlier in the apartment complex, but this asshole can drop them with one shot? Sure, he may have armor-piercing bullets, but why didn't Tyler? I have so many questions. First off, how was Saju not looking back at where he left Tyler before walking into this intersection? Second, how did Tyler hit Saju and not the kid while driving a big-ass truck? Third, where did he get that big-ass truck? And how did he get that around the car that hit him a few minutes ago? Fourth, look at how far that mother flew. It's like he got trucked with Mjolnir.
They're still following us.
Yes, but only after pausing for a bit to let you dilly-dally that whole getting in the truck thing. Okay, I know there's some circumstantial evidence, but all you saw was a couple bloodstains on the bridge, and there are hundreds of people injured in this city right now. Isn't this something you want to be relatively sure about before bringing it up to your boss?
We were played.
But why? The only thing the team did was find the location and take a few of the lower-level henchmen out. I know it wasn't super easy, but it seems like if Saju was such a badass, he could have handled this himself, rather than taking out the supposedly excellent extraction team. Also, this is pretty timing for a phone call from Nick. Why didn't she call as soon as she knew this, which seemed like hours ago? Oh, f*** off, movie. Nothing has indicated that Tyler's given two shits about this kid other than the job. Now he's grown a heart because he's having flashbacks of his old family? And it sure is nice of the movie to give these assholes plenty of time to rest up before their next confrontation, even though they're all supposedly racing against the clock.
Get out of the car.
Where the did this nut come from? Why would he be staking out this warehouse? Tyler would suddenly be excellent at CinemaSins. Damn, the Children of the Corn remake went super gritty. Kids.
We just got attacked by the Goonies from hell.
Goonies from hell? Okay, I guess, but why not the Blady Bunch, or Warlord of the Flies, or the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles? Also, a funny reference, but what about this character makes you think he'd make this reference? He's been a goddamn mannequin this entire movie. This is as stupid as Tony Stark throwing a Squidward insult at Ebony Maw in Infinity War. Ah, sudden David Harbour is sudden. And if he was this important of an asset, why didn't they call him until just now?
It's good to see you, Matt. I missed you.
Unfortunately for Mr. Harbour, audiences did not say the same thing about the Hellboy remake.
You don't look like a Tyler.
Yeah, I was thinking he looked more like a Luke, or I don't know, a Liam, or even a George.
Children?
Yeah, son.
Where is he?
He died a few years ago.
Skip! Wearing sunglasses inside at night. I mean, if the movie wanted to make this guy look like any more of an asshole, they'd have had to have him eating an apple while vaping.
What a goddamn tragedy.
If Gaspar's talking about the last 30 minutes of this movie, I'd have to agree with him 100%.
Talking about a gangster's kid with a price tag of $10 million on his head.
Right, you need to sober up, man.
You're a mercenary, right, Tyler?
I guess, but isn't the whole point of Tyler's business extraction? Like, I know they're not all kids that he pulls out, but that's like the opposite of being a mercenary. That's like a mercenary.
Did you call someone? Who'd you call?
This kid has the entire country looking for him, so if Gaspar did call someone, what the is taking them so long? Hell, they didn't even get 4 blocks before running into the devil kids earlier.
You saved my life once. Now I'm gonna save yours.
I feel like this betrayal might mean a bit more if we hadn't just met this character 10 minutes ago. Hellboy the Lesser goes from a full-on stabby motion to a dead stop almost before he even sees the kid with the gun. There hasn't been a stabbing this divinely halted since Abraham took his kid for a day trip to Mount Moriah.
I know it looks bad.
Gaspar, no way!
I've got the boy. I need your help.
Even if Tyler did turn this way to help the kid, how the hell did he get Saju's personal number? I mean, is it just me, or did Tyler definitely get a haircut between the last scene and this one? I know they're probably generally evil and under the control of Asif, but Tyler sure is straight up murdering a lot of military personnel that may be kind of innocent. I'm telling you, this kid is the most wanted individual in the country, so why isn't he wearing the disguise? Whereas so much of the action up until now has been intimate violence with personal consequences, the movie has now decided to move into the good guys dispose of the bad guys like they're NPCs in an FPS sequence. Much like my college girlfriend, I get the same sense that when this movie is over, I'm only going to miss the fun parts toward the middle. For a guy that seemingly sees everything, this dude is always a few steps behind. It's impossible to believe they haven't extracted this kid yet, honestly. He's the worst bad guy I've seen since the dude from Bad Boys 2. I can sum up the last few minutes of the movie for you to save you some time. Guns, 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 shooty, shooty, pew, 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 explosion, guns, pew, pew, pew. There, you're all caught up. As Mr. Rake continues to deal death to these possible innocent soldiers, can I just say of all the start at the end movies ever, this one seems the most pointless. Seeing Tyler get gravely shot at the beginning serves nothing more than eliminating any tension we might have had about the conclusion to this thing. How did showing us that single minute serve the movie in any way? This car is on fire! Sorry, I'm so numb to the shooting and confused by who is killing who from where at this point that I'm just singing random Alicia Keys parodies to stay awake. F you. Ain't no way that asshole saw that particular headshot from that far away. They could barely see the explosion earlier. Hearing sniper shots from a long range always bugs me. The bullets go much faster than the speed of sound, so it should always arrive before the sound does. So, hearing this is movie-making bull. Tyler is now exactly where Saju was taken out by the same sniper that we just saw visually tracking him. The very same sniper who we've seen take out a helicopter pilot in motion as if it were nothing. So why isn't he taking a shot at Tyler right now? Also, the better question is if he's tracking him right to left on this side of the bridge, how did he even take Saju out in the first place when he would have been hidden on the other side of this bus? Damn it, there's that hear it before you feel it sniper bullet again. This is going to keep happening, isn't it? Fine, here's 3 more sniper shots from the Sin counter that you'll hear at the exact same time they penetrate you. Jeez, how are there any people left to kill? They have taken out the entire population of Bangladesh at this point. This soldier barely makes an effort to stop Junior McDeathwish from running back toward danger. You had one job, random soldier dude. One job. I've never felt more like a lame while watching The English Patient. Let's just die already! Die! As Hemsworth's sky falls into this water, I can almost hear Adele singing, "This is the end." Except it's not. There's still 20 minutes left, because every movie needs multiple endings now. This guy. You're telling me he was right there when his homeboy was throwing kids off the roof, but he avoided this entire scenario? No one will be seated while the evil kingpin and primary antagonist of this movie dramatically takes a piss before he dies. And since it's at the end of the movie, I guess no one will be getting seated. The end of this movie goes full symbolism with the water theme, huh? Hey Roger, are you suggesting we sequel bait by showing a blurred figure that might or might not be Tyler Rake in the distance to end the movie? Yeah, it's gonna be so cool. But didn't we see him take several shots and cough up blood multiple times before taking a bullet to the jugular, falling into a river and sinking to the bottom? Sure, but the audience will be so excited that he might be alive at the end of the movie, thinking about the possibilities of new adventures. Who'll even care? CinemaSins cares, motherfuckers. CinemaSins cares.
Well, that's one way to pull a tooth.
People be like, how is there a comment on the video when it just posted? Fans be like, I'm a member, motherfucker. You can be a motherfucking member too. Get videos early, extra videos, bonus podcasts, swag discounts, and more. Click the Patreon link in the description or at cinemasins.com to take your sin to the next level.
I'll make you beat me, Kate, today.
Don't ask me about my business, Kate.
Is it true?
Don't ask me about my business.
I have lost my fiancé, the poor baby.
Maybe the dingo ate your baby.
What?
The dingo ate your baby.
I need the money. Chickens aren't cheap.
Then I'd like the chipper chicken.
Head on straight, Tyler.
Okay, I'm going. Take off.
See ya. Bye. Say your name, mate. Say your bloody name. Come on.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
Parkour!
Okay, we're gonna jump on 3, right?
What?
One.
You bastard! You broke my nose!
And to crawl to freedom through 500 yards of smelling foulness I can't even imagine.
You know, you drown not by falling into the river, but by staying submerged in it.
Who told you that?
They?
They talk a lot, don't they?
They certainly do.
Which leads to rule number 4. Fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.